Hello there, how are you? My name is Lois Gidiga. I am an RCIC, that is a regulated Canadian immigration consultant, and I am based in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I'm excited today because I just came back from the National Immigration Conference held in Niagara Falls. It was beautiful and I learned a lot. We had 3 good days of talks and education from top immigration experts here in the country. And we had representatives from the CBSA and from IRCC and other stakeholders here in the industry. So I have a lot of wealth to share with you in the coming few days. Okay, the purpose of today's video, I'm going to be very short. That is my intention, to be as quick as possible. I want to talk about the Study in Canada program. And this is something that I get a lot of questions on from people from all over the world. And that's why I really want to address this. And I'll be talking about more on this as we go by. So as you know, that Canada is one of the top education destinations in the world. So a lot of people come here because Canada attracts students from all over. It's a beautiful place. It has very high technology, has some of the best research institutions, and the education you get here is high quality and it's recognized all over the world. So that is why I'm selling Canada as a top destination. It's what it is. Okay, so just a quick note there. People send kids here to study in high schools. You can come to study in college, and you can also come do your university studies, whether you're doing graduate studies or undergrad studies. Okay, so when I talk about this, I'm talking about all those 3 classes, and I represent people in all those 3 classes. So I get people who tell me, Lois, it's October and I would like to come in January to study in Canada. Something is wrong with that statement, and that's why I'm here. Studying in Canada is one of the big life decisions that you will make. Just like when you want to immigrate, or you want to buy a home, or you want a baby, right? Those are life-changing decisions that you're making, and this is one of those decisions. So a lot of preparation, a lot of thinking, a lot of things need to be considered so that you make the right decisions that works for your individual situation. So the first question I ask people, and I tell people to consider, what is your end goal? So when you study in Canada, what's your end goal? And maybe I forgot to say that for any of these life-changing decisions you're making, studying here being one of them, you need a big strategy. You need to come up with a plan that says, first, why do I even want to study in Canada? Why are you studying? Why Canada? Why can't you study online? Why can't you study in your country? So that is the most important question that I'll ask you. When you book a consultation with me, that is the first question that I ask you. Why Canada? And then after that, then now we can identify what is your goal. Because first and foremost, what's the end game? Fine, you come study here in Canada. What next? So after you identify your end goal, then you need to come up with a strategy. And I'm here to talk about that strategy with you because that is what's going to make you a successful student here, a successful immigrant, if you want. And just to point is that I would like to point this here now is a lot of people who come to study, people have a perception that people who come to study here want to settle here. Not necessarily. It doesn't always work like that. 50% of the students who come to study in Canada actually go back to their countries. And about 50%, roughly 50%, stay here. So the reason and the purpose of your study is going to determine a lot of the steps that you need to take as you prepare yourself. So I also want to say that education now is one of the pathways to immigration here in Canada. So it's just no longer just education. You just don't come study. You can use education as a plan to your pathway to immigrate here. So once now that we know the end goal, that you either want to go back home or you want to settle here permanently, then now we can identify the kind of institution that you need to go to and the kind of course, of course, you're interested in. So to identify the school, these schools are called DLIs, and I'm sure you know that. They are designated learning institution. And DLIs are not all created the same. You just don't study in any college. And it depends. And as I said, if you want to go back home, that may not really matter. But if you want to stay here in Canada, that matters a lot. As to what kind of institution you get into, is it an accredited institution? Does it offer programs like postgraduate work permits? Because to tell you the truth, if you want maybe to come here, study for 2 years or 3 years or 4 years, and then later on be able to settle, if you did not study in an organization, in an institution that is allowed to offer postgraduate work permits, you may have wasted your time. So that is why you need to book a consultation with me. Sit down, let us identify your individual needs. Let us know your plan and then come up with a strategy and identify the kind of a school that you need to be going to, the kind of a course, and that is now going to give your application a lot of strength and credibility as to why you need to do this, why you cannot do it online, or why you cannot do it out there. All right? So once now you know the DLI, of course, with the vision of what you want to do here, then you need to ask yourself, what are the intakes of that DLI? That is one major thing that I come across with people who want to make rash decisions. You cannot make rash decisions like this. No. So once you identify that DLI, then we need to look at that DLI and say, oh, you know what? For this particular course, they only maybe offer fall intakes or January intakes. So then that way you can be able to plan in good time that fine, I may have missed the fall intake, but then I can apply for the January intake. And these intakes actually have deadlines. So if you're planning on studying here, you need in your plan that we come up with, in that strategic plan that you're coming up with, we are going to need to apply for your course at times up to 8 months in advance. You can do it to be safe. You need to do your school application 8 to 6 months in advance. So that way you're able to meet the application deadlines for the school. The school, you need to give school time. Of course, schools also receive a lot of applications. So you need to be giving that school enough time to receive your application and process it and give you an acceptance letter. And it's only after you get that acceptance letter that now you can apply for your study permit. The study permit also needs good time. You need good time to get ready to apply your visa. You don't want to be applying for your study permit in a rush mode, and then maybe risk losing missing deadlines, because they also have deadlines. Again, you're coming to a new country. You do not want to come to a new country in a rush mode. You want to be at ease. You want everybody to be at ease. You want me as your representative to be at ease without putting undue pressure on each other that I have to do this now, because if I don't get it, then we're good. And I know situations do come up when we have to rush, but things are better than when you're not rushing things. Then you're giving yourself time, you're giving other people time to act properly and make sure then we don't make mistakes on your file. You're not panicking. I get a lot of people who are panicking. Oh, like, my God, I'm going to run out of, you don't want to be in that situation. No. So you need time to align yourself. You need time to prepare yourself mentally. You're moving. You need to change a few things. So if you're coming to Canada for 2 years, there are things that you also need to take care of back home, wherever you are. So you need to put affairs in order. You need to pay the school fees in time. You need to do a lot of things. So anyway, those are the things that I deal with when I tell you to book a consultation. I can never, and I tell people, I cannot give you an answer. I cannot advise you based on an email that you sent me. So I need to book a consultation with you to review your individual requirements, to review your needs, and only after that, then we can sit down together and come up with a plan to see what is the best way forward, because I work for you. I want to make sure that I am giving you the best shot at everything. Okay, so if you have any question about studying in Canada, if you have an individual case that you want me to look through, kindly send me an email, and I do those on consultation basis only. Okay, so book a consultation with me. Um, so that's all I'm going to say today on Study in Canada, on the Study in Canada program. And I'll be giving such talks. I'll be making more videos on this about some of the schools that I'm working with right now. It's really interesting. So I'm a member of KPIC, and KPIC is a professional body for immigration consultants here in Canada, and KPIC is signing wonderful agreements with schools here in Canada. So then that way they're giving us a dashboard whereby we can place you directly into schools through KPIC. And the good thing is, when I do those placements through KPIC, I do not charge you for school placement. If I'm getting you into a school outside of the KPIC agreement, I do charge for the student placements. Okay? All right. Hit me up, send me that email, book that consultation with me. All right? Thank you. Bye, and thank you for watching. Stay tuned. Bye now.